Hi, it's John and welcome to the channel. Great to have you along today. Last day of the year. It is December the 31st, 4:54 a.m. I've got the big blue mug of coffee this morning, about to go up and warm it up so it's getting a little bit cool. And today I am going to make a prediction. Now I said, a few videos ago, predictions are BS. Yeah, making political predictions is just fine. But today I'm making a prediction that no one else will be making on the internet today. I can guarantee it. If you see somebody else who makes this prediction today, you let me know about it in the comments, but I guarantee you'll not be able to find anybody else going as bold as I am going today. And I woke up this morning thinking about this, folks. This is the kind of stuff that wakes me up at night. And it haunts my dreams too, and you'll get the idea in just a minute. So I said a few videos ago that past behavior is a good way to predict future behavior. And I believe politics are the same. Past politics are a good way to predict future politics. You probably saw the poll numbers from yesterday. This is unbelievable. Trudeau Liberals reach all-time low in polls at 16%. I mean, this is just amazing that this... Look at the numbers here, 45% for the Conservatives. This is a 29% gap. I'm also wondering about this rise in the NDP. Who are you people? Jagmeet Singh is the biggest piece of blank in Canadian political history. I did a video on it, more than 100,000 views on that one, folks. He's the guy that's kept Trudeau in power. Singh's the real problem here. I hate Justin Trudeau, but Singh's even worse as far as I'm concerned. But 16% right now, it's unreal to think this is where we are in Canadian politics. So Trudeau has to go, right? And how is he going to go? Well, there's a number of different options here. Now, if we look at 1993, we're in the same territory now with the Liberals. If you look at the National Post story, and that poll right there, that's a screen capture from the National Post. I'll put a link in the description. They say the Conservatives in 93, when they got wiped out, they were at 16.03% in the polls. So it's almost exactly the same. So let's look at what happened in that election. By the way, this is the only election I did not vote Conservative in a federal election, the only one. I voted, no, don't think I voted for Liberal or NDP, or not a traitor to my country or anything. I voted for a party called the National Party. I don't even think they were a national party at the time. And the guy's name, if I remember correctly, I have to look it up. I think his name was Andy Boyle, but it was a protest vote because I was sick of Brian Mulroney at the time, as most Conservatives were. So I did not vote Conservative in this election. But this is from Kim Campbell's Wikipedia page. So I'll put it up on the screen right now. I wouldn't suggest going to Wikipedia. Lots of misinformation on there. But this is just history. This is how I remember it. So let me read this to you. Mulroney entered 1993 facing a federal election. By then, his popularity had markedly declined, and polls suggested that the Tories would be heavily defeated if he led them into that year's election. Does this sound familiar, folks? In February 1993, Mulroney announced his retirement from politics to take effect after his successor had been chosen. Campbell entered the party leadership race to succeed Mulroney. Campbell had served in 4 cabinet portfolios prior to running for the party leadership, including 3 years as Minister of Justice, and garnered the support of more than half the PC caucus when she declared for the leadership. She defeated Jean Charest at the Progressive Conservative Leadership Convention that June, and Governor General Ray Nittichen appointed her Prime Minister on June 25th. Now, let me just make this clear. I don't consider Kim Campbell a prime minister of this country, even though history does. She was never voted in as prime minister. She got the job by default. But this is exactly what's going to happen and play out until October when we have an election. There will not be a non-confidence vote. There will be a non-confidence vote, but the government will not be voted down. The NDP, as I said yesterday, are not going to support Pierre Poilievre. They just won't do it because they hate you if you're a Conservative. That was my video yesterday. But the other option that hasn't really been talked about much here is maybe here, Trudeau, if he resigns, he does it in disgrace. He may prorogue, which is kind of dirty politics, but he may say, I'll stick around for a number of months until we find a new leader. That's a possibility as well. And I think it's the easiest way out for him. He can just kind of bow out, kind of fade away into the background and let politics and the Liberal Party kind of happen so that it kind of takes the focus off of him. That might be something that happens. And then the next person that's chosen as the Liberal Party leader will be sworn in as the next prime minister. And I say prime minister because I don't declare you the prime minister if you haven't been voted that way. They'll be the new prime minister of the country before an election in October. and the Liberals are going to get wiped out. But they've got to stay around, folks. They cannot go to an election in the next couple of months. Their numbers are at 16%. So they've got to somehow bring those numbers up. So they need a new leader. October election. Again, the 16% even makes that more possible. That's what's going to happen. So, what is my prediction? Oh, and by the way, I mean, if you look at what the Liberals are doing right now, they're lining up. They're lining up for really thick-soled Doc Martens to kick Trudeau out the door, and they are. A lot of them aren't saying it, but they feel the same way. So, what is my bold prediction for the future for the Liberal Party? Well, Stephen Harper was the next Conservative Prime Minister after the 1993 wipeout. It took 13 years. I mean, 13 years in the wilderness for the Conservatives, and the Liberals have got a lot of years in front of them after they get wiped out in October. And how many years will that be? Probably 2 election cycles. So probably 10 years. It could be even longer. Let's say it's 13 years. Well, if it's 13 years, somebody new will be coming on the horizon for the Liberal Party. And here is what you'll not hear on the internet today. A new person is going to show up. A savior for the Liberal Party is going to show up. Who will that savior be? Well, a young man, early 30s, is going to appear on the horizon. This person will have promise. This person, obviously, in the early 30s has youth. They'll have exuberance. They'll have excitement. They'll have a familiar name. And they'll be wearing a pink shirt. And this person's name is Xavier Trudeau. Sunny ways, folks. Have a happy new year. See you on the next one.